Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and this is going to be part 2 of the Xeon CPU upgrade in my LGA 775 dual core 2 computer. Excuse me, sorry. I just got a little bit full, so I just got set ready to do this video, and I was going to do the bit about the BIOS mods first, and yeah, the computer decided now was when Windows 7 wanted to do an update, so we've got I'm installing update 27 of 182 at the moment. So I thought while that was going on, we might as well get on with it and actually do the mod we need to do to the CPU. Now I've got some tweezers. I haven't actually bothered waiting for them to arrive that I've ordered. I had a rummage in a drawer and I found a manicure set that had quite a nice, I don't think ever used set of tweezers, so they should do quite nicely. And I've already separated the little mod we've got, which is there. I've still got it in that packet from the bit of extra PCB material that it comes with. Now that was actually quite tricky to do. You've got to be really careful getting that off, or else you risk actually tearing the little mod. It's that delicate. But if you're gentle, you can just tease it off, and you need to discard that little bit of. I think some actually probably come with that removed. The ones a little bit more expensive, but this one was dirt cheap. I've actually got a couple more of these mods coming, seeing that I've got another processor, and potentially I've got another motherboard coming that will accept them. So. I will be possibly doing this again. First thing we're going to do is I've got some. I've got my isoprop here. We're going to give the chip a good clean because we've handled it when we was drilling out them two little divots on it to fit it in the socket. So first thing we're going to do is give it a clean. Make sure it's all nice and clean because we don't want any grease or oil or anything on there. We're just going to stop the adhesive on this from sticking, because it literally does just stick in place with a couple little bits of double-sided tape. Right, so let's get on and do that. In fact, I can probably zoom you into this. You mightn't be able to see everything for the simple fact, unfortunately, I'm left-handed, and the only place I can actually put my camera in this room is on the left-hand side. So no matter what I do, I am going to possibly obscure it a little bit. I apologise for that now. In fact, let me see if I can go up a bit with the camera, see if that's going to help a bit. That might help. Oops, there we go. Right, you can at least see the oops. You can at least see the processor there, can't you? I am using the top of that Sunfire server, just because it's a nice flat metal surface to work on. And it's lighter than my desk. In fact, I will also, seeing I've got it, I'll put my anti-static on just to be on the safe side, seeing we are working on the CPU. Right, let's get some isoprop and we'll give that CPU a good cleaning before we go any further. Get that soaked. This is really the area that we need to concentrate on, because this is the area here where we're actually going to apply the mod. But we will do the whole chip just so it is nice and clean, obviously, because that will benefit when it goes in the socket. Okay. Because there's probably dust from our filing as well on here, as well as fingerprint marks, and really I should get some nitrile gloves or something like that out of the garage for doing stuff like this, or even better would be cotton gloves. At least then I don't risk marking the bottom of the chip with my grease from my fingers. Right there, you can see it has actually. Is that going to focus? There's a little bit of ick on there, not a huge amount, but it has come a little bit. We'll give it a dry off with the clean side as well. There we go. So that's the chip cleaned. Right, let's well, we can't put it off any longer. Let's go and do it. This is the first time I've ever attempted to apply one of these, so if we mess it up this video is going to get delayed until the other ones that I've ordered, which I believe are coming from Greece, get here. Got this one in the UK. It was slightly more expensive than some, but it was still cheap. Right, there's the mod. Let me tip it out. I don't want to touch it with my fingers in case I leave any grease on it, but basically it's got two little arrows on it. There's a big arrow. Oops. It's also very, 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 very light. There's a big arrow at the top there, that goes into the centre of the chip, and there's a small arrow down here on that bottom corner, right there, and that has to line up with the arrow that's actually printed into the corner of the chip there, and it basically fits right here on the chip. Right, I'm going to have to just go for it, I think. I think what I'll do is I'll have to take the adhesive off. Hopefully, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'm sorry if it's not very in fact I'll zoom you out very slightly. I'm sorry, I'm not if it's very camera friendly, but I am having to concentrate immensely on actually doing this. I wonder if a little a Stanley blade or something might be better, just to peel that adhesive off. Yeah, there we go. That's the top side. Yeah. Get hold of this with the tweezers. We need to get the adhesive off that side there. It is literally a little bit of double-sided tape, so you're just peeling the backing off it. There we go. Now that's the right way around. The problem is, once this is stuck down, there is no way we're going to be able to, oh shit, we're going to be able to get it off to relocate it. Is that falling the right way around? No, it's not. Right, we've got it the right way around this time. Now I don't have a very, very steady hand, but that's it. I think I'm slightly out there. I can just push it into place. We're nearly there. I think we've got the top side lined up there. It's getting these bottom holes now to line up. I haven't actually pressed the adhesive down yet, so I can just very gently slide it into place. and then very gently push down. There we are. I think we've got it. Oh, you can see that there. That was very, very, very tricky to do. Now, that was my first attempt ever at fitting one of them. I'm 100% happy with it. In fact, I could do with finding my glasses. Oh, there they are. Just put my glasses on and see if I can see. See if I can see a little bit better. I'm a little bit off on that, you see. I could just do with it. It's in exactly the right place, but it could just do with being a little bit higher up, you see. Unfortunately, there's still a little bit of play in it. Sorry if this has been a bit of a boring video, but actually this is the first time I've ever tried to fit one of these, and bit of a learning experience. I think if we're lucky, I might have to speed this up on the when I edit this. I don't know. I'll just have to see how long I'm actually taking fiddling with this. I'm just seeing if I can just nudge it up a tiny little bit. That's better. And then if I rub it down like that with the, I don't know if you can see what I'm even doing here. Basically, I've got it in the right place, and I'm just trying to rub down the adhesive so it actually sticks. I think we've got it there. Right, so that's the mod installed on the chip. And there we go. I'll show you that. There we are. And if it doesn't work, like I said, we'll possibly have to wait until I get them other mods that arrive. But hopefully that will, hopefully that, I'll have to take these glasses off, I can't see with them. I can only see with them for very, very close-up work. Right, let's get you back on the monitor, let's see how long this is going to be taking now. 61 of 182. Right, I will pause you and we'll get right back as soon as this stupid thing's finished doing its updates, and I can show you what we need to do with the BIOS, and then we can actually have a go at fitting that chip and seeing if this is going to work. So I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Wow, that took an extortionately long amount of time for that Windows update to complete. But we've got Windows up and loaded again, so we better have a look at this, what we need to do to the BIOS to get this Xeon to work in this computer. And I've already actually done the modifications to the BIOS, but I'll just show you basically what software you need to use. This is just on an AMI BIOS. It does vary if you're using like a Ward or perhaps Phoenix or other BIOS that are out there. But this has got an AMI BIOS in it anyway, so that's what we're going to look at. Let me just get this folder open. Right, and it's an ASRock motherboard. Now, what we have a quick look in here. Oh, this is it. Basically, the software that we've used is called Tool, and you can get it from the AMI website. If we load up Tool, basically first what you need to do is you need to download the latest ROM file, the latest BIOS revision for your motherboard, which is what I've done there. That G31M.gs1.rom is the actual ROM file as downloaded. Now, as it was downloaded, it was actually called a .90 because this is a little auto loader for. It's one way to get the software to flash. I'm not sure I'm going to use this or I'm going to use another way of doing it yet. But what I had to do to actually use it was just rename that file there from .90 to .rom. Anyway, let's just go back here. What we use is a software called Tool. Let's just load Tool up. As I said, it comes from AMI. It's a little free piece of software you can just download off their website. And what we first need to do, we need to load the ROM file in there. So if we go to load ROM. And let's have a look on here. I think I should be able to find it on the desktop. Now Xeon ASRock. There's the ROM file. So we click on that, and that basically loads the ROM file up into this piece of software. And what we're interested in is this at the end here where it says CPU patch. So we click on that, and this basically gives us all the microcodes, all the microcode IDs for all the microcode. Excuse me, for all the microcodes which are included in this ROM. And basically, what I've done is at the bottom here, this set here from 067A basically all the way down to 0676. I've put all these in there. What I did is I went in, and what you can actually do is you can look these CPU IDs up online, and basically you type that and it'll tell you what the CPU is. So what I did is I selected all the microcodes that was to do with things like Pentium 4 Pro, well, 775s that are based on like the Pentium Pros, Celerons, anything that I knew basically anything that was before a dual core, or a Core2Duo. I found everything like that was actually in the code, and I removed it. You select them and you just click delete patch data there, and you removed it. And then we went to insert patch data. We'll just click browse now. I'll just show you. And basically, if you go here, you can download again. You can download this. You just have to type in LGA 771 to 775 microcord in something like Google, and you'll be able to download this this file. Now it's got 45 nanometer and 65 nanometer chips here. Now what I'm working with is a 45 nanometer chip, and basically if you look up the specs on the chip, it will tell you that. So we'll go in here, and again, if you look up the specs on the chip, it will actually give you this information. It will tell you this CPU. Sorry, this is a really crappy mouse I'm struggling with. CPU 1067A, CPU 1067A, CPU 10676. These are all the microcodes that we need for the CPU that I'm interested in. So basically what I did was I copied all them and patched them into there to replace them codes that I'd actually removed. So you don't always have to remove all codes, it just depends on the BIOS. This BIOS is a 512K BIOS, and it is actually at 512K, so there was no free room just to add some extra microcodes to it. So like I said, all I did was I removed the microcodes for ICs which there's no way I'm going to be using on this board. So anything that was like the old Pentium 4 Celeron stuff like that I knew I wasn't going to need, I removed and replaced it with that code for the Xeons. Once you've done that, obviously save ROM as, it saves the ROM back out, and that's what we've done. So hopefully, if I've done all that right, which I think I have, this ROM file there, that one there, is correct, and that's now got all the Xeon microcode in it. So what we need to do is we need to be able to flash that to the computer. Now, if this was literally slightly newer ASRock motherboard with a slightly newer AMI BIOS, you can actually do the flashing in the BIOS. This one, unfortunately, is just that little bit too old to be able to do that, so you have to use a BIOS flash utility to do it. Now, unfortunately, the specific BIOS flash utilities that they want, that ASRock want you to use with this motherboard to flash that BIOS, it's basically like a little exe file. There's one that can run under DOS and one can run under Windows, and they've integrated the ROM file into it, so you can't use a modified ROM file with it. So what I found one. Basically, I found one piece of software. I think it's a DOS file which can do it, but like I said, we have to just change that .rom to .90, or we can do it using another piece of software. In fact, let's try doing it this way. I think this should actually work quite well, because it is the correct software for this motherboard. Well, hang on a minute. What I need to do, I just need to change that from .rom to .90. So let's rename that. I want to rate .90 like that. So you won't necessarily have to do this, it's just the particularity of this motherboard that we're working on. Next thing we need to do is take an old USB stick, and we'll format this, put a DOS on it, and we'll copy these files over so we can actually see whether we can do this ROM flash. Right. It did have a copy of Linux on here. I'm not bothered about that. I've got it backed up anyway, so I can always stick it on a new USB stick when I need it. I've got the ISO file for it. I've actually just ordered a load of USB sticks from China, because I'm seriously running out of them at the moment. Right, anyway, let's pull that down there for now. What we need to do, I can remember where it is. Get rid of you. Come on. Sorry about this, I'm struggling with this bloody mouse. I trod on the USB lead for my normal mouse that I use up here, so I'm using a really old one. It's an old ball mouse, and it is a bit of a pain. It's not moving terribly well on the surface I've got it on. Right, now what was I doing? That was what I was doing. I was going to go to downloads. I've got a little piece of software in here called Rufus. If we load that, there we go. This basically allows you to format a USB stick as a boot drive. It also allows you to put ISO files onto a USB stick. We literally just want to format this. We can use MS-DOS or we can use FreeDOS. We'll use FreeDOS. You don't need to do anything fancy about it. Try to change its name maybe. Yeah, let's call it BIOS. Don't need to do that obviously, but right, start it. We'll format this. Shouldn't take too long. There we go. Right, that's formatted. So we can close that. And all we need to do now is we need to take them two files from before. So that's the ROM file and that little file to load it. So we select them two, we drop them onto the USB stick as well. Have they gone? Yeah, there we go. We've got G30, that's the ROM file, and that's the application there underneath it. Right, that's okay. So, I think what we need to do now is restart the computer, boot to that USB stick, and let's just see if we can get this thing to flash. So, let's restart. I do hope it just doesn't decide to do another massive update. That was ridiculous. I thought it usually only take 5 or 10 minutes to do an update. That thing seems to take hours. Come on. There we go. So like I said, hopefully now it should boot into that USB stick. I think it is set up to automatically boot into boot from USB first. I'm pretty sure it is. No, it's not. Damn. So we'll press F2. Actually, we need F11, don't we? Because it's got a boot menu, you stupid sod. So if we press F11, this should allow us to boot straight from the USB stick, I think. Come on. There we go. So, USB generic storage device. I presume that's what we want to boot from. Let's give that a try. Oh. Let's see whether it's set up in the right. Let's have a look here. Boot. Let's boot device. CD, DF. Right, let's disable that. So we've got the USB as the first boot device, then the hard drive. That should be okay. See what it says on the USB drives. First, generic storage. U-disk. I presume that's what we're using. Right, let's try that. Save changes and exit. Okay. Hopefully it'll boot this time. Let's see. No. Now why is this not booting? Try it in the other USB hole, just in case it's it doesn't like that hole in the front of the computer. Although I'm sure that's where I booted it from last time. Ah, let's try that now. There we go. That was it. I was just being a bit daft. And there we go. We're loading into FreeDOS. Right. Yeah. So now we should be able to just type in that. Well, it's got a horrible squiddle there. Oh, hopefully we can find that horrible squiddle. I hate finding them on these keyboards under DOS. Never mind, we'll find it. There it is. So we type G31. This is when we find out this is actually a Windows program. G, I like to be neat. Squiddle 1. Right, moment of truth. Okay. Well, it's doing something. Right, well, it looks like it's that looks like it's worked. Right, let's suppose the first thing we really need to do is reboot the computer and make sure it does still boot. So we'll do a Control-Alt-Delete. Oh, it switched itself off obviously because it's... There we go. Let's just make sure the computer does... Ah, that's interesting. Now we do seem to have instant flash. So it's actually, it does seem to have actually upgraded. Seamless checks on bad. That definitely does seem to be a new BIOS from what I had. Press F1 to load default values and continue. Press F2. Alright, let's press F2 to run setup. Yeah, we've now got ASRock Instant Flash if you look there. So it's definitely flash updated the BIOS. So, I suppose it's time to try the new processor now, isn't it? Right, what I'll do is I'll just switch you off. I'll just pause the video while I get some of this cleared away and my printer moved. And I'll get the actual computer up on the desk here and we can have a go at fitting the new processor. Okay, so back in a second. Okay, I've got the computer out and I've still got it all connected up so we can actually do some testing when we power this thing up. So let's get inside it. Just clip and press on this and get in it quite easily. Now this does still have just basically the standard cooler in it. So one nice thing about these Xeons, I've been told, is they are very overclockable compared with the same like Core2Duo, the other contemporary Core2Duo processor, because these actually run, they're a little less power hungry than the Core 2s. In fact, the equivalent Core 2 to this runs 95 watts, as where this Xeon, the equivalent Xeon only runs at 80 watts. So that's another advantage. So I'm not too worried about running it with this stock cooler. Not at the stock speeds. If I do decide to overclock, then obviously I think I'll be possibly looking at a better cooler in it. I'd probably have to go with a bigger case as well. To be fair, this is quite a very compact system. That's one of the reasons I like it. It doesn't take up a lot of space in the office, and space is a bit of a premium down here. Let's get this last. Turn that one. We should be able to get the cooler off, and then we can get down and have a look at the CPU. There we go. We're off. Yeah. We'll have to clean some of that. We'll have to clean some of that gunk off there as well. In fact, we'll do that before we try and lift the processor, the old processor out. In fact, I should be wearing my anti-static seeing I've actually got it here, so I'll stick my anti-static on. I mean, it's not a major issue actually because the computer is still plugged in and it's grounded, but seeing I've got it, I might as well use it. Let's clean some of this. Yeah. Let's clean some of this heatsink grease off. Literally just to make my life a bit easier for handling it, because I hate getting that stuff on me because it goes everywhere. We'll get it off the bottom of the heatsink as well while we're here. I've got some nice thermal compound to replace that with anyway. Well, I hope it is anyway. It's some I've had kicking around for a long time. Right, that's off. Let's lift the CPU out. So we've pressed down and release. I'll pull that up like that, and let's just see which way around the CPU is. So the CPU, the arrow is pointing like this towards me, it's pointing that way. So let's lift the let's lift this dual core out if we can get it out. Come on, out you come. There he is. So that's the dual core, Core2Duo, sorry, out. It's a 2.4 gig Core2Duo, and in. I'm just trying to pick this up without touching the bottom of it. We're going in with the modified Xeon. So that way in. And that fits in nicely. And there it is, the points pointing that way are nice little homemade cutouts, have worked right. So let's drop that down and we'll lock it into position. There we go. So that's the Xeon in place. Let's just put this Core2Duo in that box. I won't waste that. It's still a reasonable processor. In fact, I might have an old board. Oh, in fact, I might be able to stick it on that board that had that Celeron on it actually, because I think that's like the fastest, best processor it can take. It'll still be useful for something then. Right, so we have the CPU actually on the board. I suppose we'd better put a little bit of thermal compound on there before we even test it. I don't want to fry that chip. So what we'll do is we will, I've got some of this stuff. I've had this, I think this was bought in about 2013 or something like that, so it's about 5 or 6 years old. But hopefully it should still be alright. It's never been opened or anything. I was doing a job at work, upgrading some computers to i7s back at work. And I ordered a few too many of these, as you do. And one found its way home, but a few found their way home, you know, as they do. Right. Got a cleaning pad. We don't need that because we've just cleaned it ourselves. But let's have a look. There it is. Why do they make these things so bloody hard to get into? There we are. Got some proper thermal. It's Coolmaster E2 IC Essential. So let's put a little bit of that. That should be enough. I do think people put far too much thermal compound on a lot of the time. Right, and let's reinstall this this cooler. Make sure these. I'm not a huge fan of these the clips that they use on these coolers, but it's what we've got. Right, let's see if that'll fit in. Right, down it goes. Well, they've sat down. Go on, sit in. That one's sat in. There we go. They're not very. I think it's probably been used quite a few times. This it's been off and on a few times. This, I think, it's not in the best of conditions. I think I will have to get a new. Well, that's holding. I think I will definitely have to bite the bullet and buy some new a new cooler though. That's on though. It has actually locked into place. It's just not brilliant. Yeah, it has locked in. It is on there. Right. I think it's probably about time to actually power it up and see what happens. This is the moment of truth. If it then fires up and we get something on screen and we're happy, it's actually fired up, then we'll have a go at swapping the RAM out as well. And then we'll probably get to see if it'll boot into Windows, and we'll take it from there. So, moment of truth, I'll switch on. And keep your fingers crossed something comes up on screen. Yes, we do have something on screen. CPU, Intel Xeon E5440 at 2.83 GHz, speed 2.83 GHz. So it looks like that's worked. Let's just go into the BIOS. And yeah, there we go. Intel Xeon CPU, E5440, 64-bit. I'll switch it off there, and let's try that RAM. And if this works, then I'm going to be really pleased. Right. Let's pop these out. So I think we've got a 1 and a 2 here. In fact, the 2 I do have a use for. I've got another computer. I can put that 2 in. Right, these are heavy. These are really high quality, I must say. So it's one of the nice things with using old server parts. They are like top quality. Hopefully that will push in. Go on, in you get. Please tell me these fit. They should do. I'm sure they're both DDR2. Yeah, I'm sure these are DDR2. Well, that's a bugger. No, this RAM isn't the same. Just a minute. Just bear with me 1 second, folks. I want some more RAM in here. Let me have a look at these. No, that's DDR3. That's different again. Oh, that's a bit of a bugger. So it looks like we're not using that that nice RAM there. That's a shame. I'll have to look into that because I was sure that RAM would be compatible. I'll put that away. That's going to be a real bug because that means I've got 16 gig of RAM there that I can't use. So I was sure that should be compatible, but it's not. It's completely different. So I better stick these two back in. Oh, that is a bit of a bugger. I'll have to go trawling round, see if I've got another at least another 2 gig stick, so we can put 4 gig of RAM in this, because 3 is a bit meh. That's a bit of a disappointment. That really is. I was hoping that RAM would work. But anyway, let's shut the computer back up. But the important thing, and the most, like I said, the whole reason we've been doing this is that CPU. So we do definitely have a Xeon CPU working in this computer. Let's get it to boot to Windows. I think I've got to do some. I didn't save anything, did I, when I was last in the BIOS? Daft sod. My fault. Right, let's have a look here. Advanced. We've got chipset configuration, USB. That's all okay, isn't it? Boot, first floppy drive. Well, I don't think we really need the floppy drive. We just have one. Yeah, let's call it at that. Let's save changes and exit. Okay. Get you zoomed in on the screen a little bit more. There we go. Oh. That's because we were mucking about earlier. There's a bit of a bugger about that memory. It does need some more RAM in this. I don't really think 3 gigs enough. It also really needs a faster graphics card, a better graphics card, because it's using the onboard graphics at the moment. But let's have a look at that benchmark. See if we've made any difference on the benchmark. I'm definitely shame about the RAM. But at least it proves this. Like I said, it proves that the CPU definitely works. Right. So let's have a look here. Now, what can we do if we go computer, properties, nope, like I said, it's definitely showing up as the correct processor there. Let's load well, it wants us to restart Windows. Well, we'll restart later. Let's have a look at this. That's the one, isn't it? And let's see how this has improved from what it was last time. We're in the 2. Where were we? Like I said, well, there we go. Intel Xeon. And they're definitely running at the right speed. Let's try the benchmark. Let's see what it's going to come up with. It's somewhat faster, obviously, because it's using 4 threads now. That's significantly faster. What was showing 380 odd, and we're at 1014 there now. On the single one, we're at 255. It was 200 and something, I think. But then again, we've only gone up from 2.4 gigahertz to 2.8 gigahertz. Is the fact that we've got 4 of them now rather than just 2 of them. Right, excellent. So, like I said, apart from that memory, the memory is a bit of a disappointment, because I was absolutely certain that RAM, it was both DDR2 and it would just plug in there and run, which it doesn't seem to. But the CPU certainly does. I mean, if you've got an old Core2Duo, or even something that would, if you've got a motherboard that is a LGA 775, have a look and see if it'll take a Core2 Quad. If it'll take a Core2 Quad, then it will almost certainly be able to be modified to take one of these Xeons, and these Xeons are literally for pennies. If you buy just, I was having a look on like AliExpress, eBay, this chip that I've got, that I've just been messing with, you can get it for £7 plus a little bit of delivery. There's some sellers have got it on there for £10 including delivery. So it's cheap. You know, I mean, the cheapest I've seen the equivalent Core2 Quad was about £40. So I mean, there is quite a saving there, really. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. It has actually shown that this has been a success. So I'll finish this video and I'll get to stringing it all together using this computer and see how long it takes to render. So hope you enjoyed that little foray into some CPU hackery. So thanks for watching and goodbye.